All right, what's going on, everybody? So by now, if you haven't heard in the news, there's a lot of talk about Disney, about teachers, about groomers, about children, and all these different issues with the fight with Florida and Disney. You have these teachers basically every other day being arrested or accused of sexual misconduct. You have this whole issue of a gender reassignment surgery. Is it okay or not to have consent from the kids and separate that from the parents and all these different things, right? And so a lot of what is basically a wokeist movement, a liberal or whatever agenda, and a lot of people just putting terms and things like that on there. But what's evident and what I've been talking about for a very long time from a spiritual perspective is that the devil, Satan, he wants to attack the children, and he wants to do everything he can to be able to indoctrinate them, to be able to confuse them, to be able to put and divide and put a wedge between their thoughts. And so if you are sitting there and you're either ignorant of it or you may not know what's really going on, I've said before, God is revealing it. You're seeing it all over the news now. You're seeing all these different things, whether it's trafficking, whether it's sexual misconduct, child pornography, all these different things that are coming out, but it's being mitigated. It's being brushed under the rug. People are not taking it seriously. You got the Ghislaine Maxwell trials. You got all the Epstein, right, island. You have all these different things that are coming out. People are not believing it, and they're saying, if I can't see it, then it basically doesn't exist to me. But to the eyes of God, He sees all these different things. And though it may be inappropriate to talk about, genitalia and all these different things that are supposedly on Disney gift cards and like all these different things that are out there. And you can judge for yourself. I've seen various hidden subliminal messages that people are trying to point out in this campaign against Disney and all these different things happening, right? You got pictures, you got underground, detectives, the child trafficking bus and all these different things that are happening, right? So you can judge for yourself. But what I'm saying here is that just because it's not in the news, just because everybody's not talking about it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And right now, that target, the children for this next generation, is one of the biggest ways that Satan is trying to get into this generation. And if you look at Disney, if you look at all these innocent-looking things, the devil isn't going to just come with, devil horns and just satanic horror movies to target children. He's going to go through avenues. And again, I'm not saying that everybody in Disney is going to hell. I'm not saying everybody is a Satan-worshiping Luciferian person. I'm saying that Satan, he likes to use things, teachers, public schools, people that have pedophilia, people that have sick thoughts. And all these teachers are coming out and being convicted of certain things and allegations that have been hidden for a long time, right? These things are coming out. But Satan, he loves to go into areas and indoctrinate people in a way that is innocent, that looks okay, that looks neutral, that seems fine. And he's going to push things in a slow, consistent basis. He's not going to just come out there guns blazing and everyone's just like, what are you doing? Like, get out of my face. He's going to get in there by subtle, small things. And if you look at Disney movies, if you look at all these, methods and you think, oh, it's okay, no big deal. See, that's where you will get into trouble with your kids, with the people of this generation. One step, little by little, he gets in there, he creeps in there, and then he shoves other things in there. If you see and survey and some of the stats that are coming out about all the gender identity crises that people have, that the kids have, that identify with LGBTQ and many other issues, right? Identity issues, suicide rates, all these different things. It's more prevalent now than it was before, and it's troubling kids. And I want to remind you guys, as I reflect on my days in youth ministry, I was a youth teacher. I did a lot of youth ministry, overseas missions, and different things like that for a long time. And I have a heart for children, but it's tough because you can't just do it on your own. You can't just do it thinking you can just shuffle them off into the church. The Bible specifically says, as parents, as people that are to look over even orphans, to build up and to train up children, you have to do it in the Lord. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. It starts when you're young. There's so many other verses. Ephesians 6:4, and you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. Psalms 127:3, behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Matthew 19:14. And Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." And so you have to realize that from very young, you have to, as a parent, as a society, as a school system, as laws and doctrines and legal methods, you have to set up boundaries, and you have to be able to teach them in the way of the Lord. You can't let them have this choice of, hey, you can choose what gender you want to be and get sex realignment surgery. You can do whatever you want. There are reasons that there are laws. 16, you can't do certain things. 18, you can't do certain things. Driving, 21, whatever it is, drinking, all these different things. Because when you're 12, when you're 13, when you're 10, and you make a choice, you regret that later. 10 years later, no one's gonna say, hey, I'm so happy with all my choices that I made when I was in middle school, in high school, whatever. They're developing, they're growing in that time. They're trying to figure out their mindset, their ideology, their world purview, right? And so you have to be able to set them up from a very early age in your lifestyle, in prayer over them, teaching them the Bible, disciplining them, right? And you have to have a lot of these traditional values. Parenting and raising children up, it's not some new rocket science, right? It's been there for generations. It's not like figuring out calculus or figuring out some philosophical or physics technology issue that's new to our generation, or medicine, or whatever it is. It's always been there. It's been time tested that as a kid and as you're growing up, you have to be in a place as a parent, as a society, as a church, as a community to be able to build up and raise up these kids, right? And that's why right now, when you see all these sinister activities, when you see all these demonic activities, everyone's laughing at it like, oh, no big deal. There's nothing there. You're a conspiracy theorist, right? And again, I'm not trying to bucket everybody in Disney, everybody in these groups that are bad, but you have to realize that Satan loves working in these innocent places, and he loves to get in there and look like he has all the candy for you to lure you in and then to slowly change you and indoctrinate you. And it says even here, when he is old, he will not depart from it. Train up a child in the way he should go. If you train up a child in a demonic and an unbiblical way and have them choose all these different worldly ideologies, then they are going to go in that way, and they're going to be troubled later. They're going to have wounds. They're going to have holes. They're not going to have completeness in Christ because you didn't teach them. People didn't teach them. People didn't show them who Christ is, what the Bible is, what good biblical righteous values are. And so we're in a time now, guys, where I've said before, the children, women, just all these different things, they were being targeted, they were being marginalized. There's been sinister activities decades long, and it's being exposed. And people have to realize, wow, this is a serious issue. Just because it wasn't on the front page of Wall Street Journal, just because it wasn't on your 5 o'clock news doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Out of sight, out of mind type of thing. It's been there. It's been an issue. It's been prevalent, and it's surfacing all the more right now in order for God to deal with it. But God just can't eradicate it. We have to, as Christians, as a society, as people, rise up to be able to pray over it, to cast and have spiritual a fight over this, and then to be able to step up in your own decision in training up a child, in your own community, in your church, in the seriousness of how we want to pass certain legislations and laws like Florida is doing, and many other places, Australia, England, all these different places are doing certain things. And it's not just an American issue, it's all over the world. And you have to wonder, what is it that we want for the future for children? It's not too late to turn things, to backtrack, whatever it is, to conservative, righteous, biblical values. And this is where we got to go, guys. Otherwise, you're going to let Satan, the devil, these wokest, whatever movements take hold, and it's not going to be good. It's not about this left, right, this political leaning, whatever it is. You have to look at it from the issue itself, and don't take sides. Don't be looking at something like, oh, I love Disney for so long. It's no big deal. If they change, if there's something there that's wicked and evil, we have to remove that and come against it by the power of God. And so God bless you guys. Stay encouraged. A lot to come, a lot of exposure, a lot of justice, but we still have to be doing our part. So God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys very soon.